shoulder.
Welcome to Marines Radio. Milestone, punk. What's going on, y'all? They're like, what the hell are you? You look like a cross between a lumberjack and a California raisin. What you doing right now? Hey, welcome to the show, everybody.
Yeah, man, I agree, Corey Coleman. Welcome to the show. Our show, not your show. Ha ha, got you. Welcome to Cordkillers, the show dedicated to teaching you how to watch what you want, when you want, on whatever darn device you please. My name is Brian Brushwood, joined in studio by one of the co-hosts of Double Toasted, Mr. Martin Thomas. How are you, sir?
Hello. I'm doing well, Brian. Thanks for having me tonight.
Dude, thank you so much for joining us. Of course, we saw at the very beginning your review of Infinity Wars, which we were talking before the show. No spoilers, because everyone goes nuts if we mention spoilers, but you liked it.
I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah, it was good. We both cried the second time we saw it.
Man, you weren't supposed to say that on the
I just
air.
outed you.
Why would you
right
do
at
that?
the beginning. Right at the beginning. Joining us as always on the boards is Bryce Neshcom Castillo. How you doing, Bryce?
I'm good. How are you doing, Bryce?
Doing really good. Let's. You guys want to dive in on the primary target?
Let's do it.
Sure. What's up?
All right, talk us through this one, Bryce.
Tomorrow, Tuesday, YouTube will roll out changes to its subscription offerings. YouTube Music will officially launch as a music streaming service. This will have its own standalone app, which offers a portal to YouTube's immense library of music label and user-generated music. The service includes recommendations based on history and location, as well as playlists. YouTube Music is free and is ad-supported, but there's also YouTube Music Premium, which is $10 a month, which includes ad-free listening, background listening on mobile, offline downloading of music. On top of that, there's also YouTube Premium, which is $12 a month. This is replacing YouTube Red. This includes all the same features as YouTube Music Premium, ad-free listening, background listening, and downloading for all videos on YouTube, not just music videos and music streaming. And you get access to the YouTube Red originals.
I'm not very familiar with this. What's background listening?
Okay,
So on your mobile phone, if you start a video and if you don't have this and you hit like the home button while it's playing, it'll stop playing anything.
Okay.
Instead of using like iOS's picture-in-picture mode, this will if you have YouTube Premium or YouTube Red, if you're playing a video and say you quit out of YouTube, it'll still play the audio in the background.
So, for example, like let's say you're listening to Double Toasted review, right?
Okay.
Oftentimes, yes, there's a video element, but of course, if I'm driving or whatever, I don't necessarily want the video.
Sure.
So I would hit play, and then I would just, I would close my phone. As it stands, if I don't have YouTube Red or YouTube Premium or YouTube Music, it would immediately just stop playing. And then, but otherwise, I'd be able to close the phone and then hit play, and I could still listen to the audio of you guys, even though the phone's turned off. Which is important because I think what YouTube has figured out is just how YouTube is MTV, and they pretty much said that at their new fronts. They're like where kids go to watch the music videos, and I'm sure they use that language.
But the kids love to watch the pictograms.
Yes. But here's the question. I think we probably all agree that YouTube Red was a terrible name and a mushy offering that wasn't terribly clear. YouTube Red.
I think there's value in saying here's YouTube ad free, and you are directly supporting your creators by watching stuff with it. I think that's a good sell, and that's never how they sold it. They
Correct.
always sold it as background listening, and you could get a version of YouTube Music before this launched. But
I would also offer that these hypothetical Double Toasted videos you were talking about could be watched at doubletoasted.com for a mere $6.99 a month, much cheaper than YouTube.
As long as we're talking about paywalls and being ad-free, then that does make a lot of sense, right? So I think this fixes a mushy branding problem they had from the beginning, because I agree with you, Bryce. They were never absolutely clear about who this was a solution for. And also they figured out that there's two different audiences. There are people who just love the music and want a Pandora-like or a Spotify-like experience that it's ad-free, which $10 does seem a little bit pricey for that, but I guess it's easy for them to point to the fact that it's video as well.
Okay,
sure. And then the YouTube Premium, I think, is smart play because it's not necessarily the same market at all that wants to see the originals. And I'm glad that they waited until they had their first bona fide hit with Cobra Kai. Which
you're glad that they waited, though?
I think I'm glad for them. I'm not glad for me as a consumer, but I think that was a smart play on their part to know that it's like, okay, we finally have our House of Cards. Cobra Kai is their House of Cards.
It does seem to be what these new streamers want. Like with CBS, they were like, we got to get Star Trek.
Right.
Because
So just
everything else we
behind
got
the
is
paywall.
shit.
Yeah.
But we got Star Trek. We'll get people with that.
Right.
And hopefully when the season ends, they won't stop paying for it.
Well,
Pretty sure they did.
But here's the weird
'Cause
part.
I know I did.
Here's the weird part about CBS is I refused the value of CBS All Access. I perceived as I am not going to start paying this just to get one show week after week. But as Discovery has gotten longer and longer and longer, and there are more and more episodes now. It's becoming a very attractive. Well, maybe I'll just binge for 1 month.
Yeah.
Maybe it's fine for me to dive in
I
and
see what
watch
you
the
mean.
entire back catalog.
I had a very similar thing with HBO Now. Once they finally were like, "Here, we're doing HBO Now. It's a la carte." Now I'm like, okay, cool. I can now watch Game of Thrones.
Yeah,
And
all the shows you never saw, and they have a huge library with tons of shows that are really good.
yeah, and so everybody else is kind of playing catch up in the land grab of get into people's credit cards essentially, and prove it. That's the bummer I think about this YouTube Premium thing is that Cobra Kai is very good. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but I look at Netflix, and Netflix cut their price for years as they were building into originals, and then that's when they started raising the prices. And to see YouTube move forward on this and to put it on the back of YouTube Music, it just feels like oil and water a little bit.
It feels very DC trying to catch up to Marvel.
Yeah, it does.
Not doing
it
all the
does.
groundwork.
A little bit astroturfed, a little bit like now it's time for us to make that money, just like they did. What are we doing wrong?
Right.
I got to tell you, I think that it's a smart move to go for, and again, I'm not thrilled about it, but I think there's more money in these services than than a lot of companies are willing to shoot for. So I think it makes sense that they're aiming for a higher price because what is Hulu ad free? It's about 12 or 14 or
12
something?
or 13 is about right.
Is it that much?
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
so
you pay on top of the regular Hulu service.
Okay.
For
Yeah,
ad free.
so YouTube Premium for $11.99, no ads on anything. Plus, again, if they just keep doubling down, and it sounds like they've got a stronger offering of original content
on the way.
on the way.
No.
So maybe they're putting the cart before the horse, but ultimately, let me put it this way: whether this is a today decision or a next year decision or a 2 years from now decision, I do think this is the right decision.
Yeah, putting it in early means that when the original content comes and people decide, okay, I want to get in on this,
Then you have stuff.
it's already set up. You don't get in there and then suddenly they go, ha ha!
Yeah, got you.
And you know what? It's probably better to rip this Band-Aid now
Yeah.
when the stakes are very low for YouTube in terms of its content, rather than when the second Cobra Kai that they have comes and
Right.
then you start. I can see now being okay for that reason. One last note about this. Existing YouTube Red, Google Play All Access, and Google Play Music users will see a continuance of their features and services at their current prices. YouTube has said Google Play Music uploads, playlists, and purchases will not change. In an email that went out to YouTube Red subscribers, quote, "Your monthly membership price isn't changing. As long as your membership remains active, your price stays the same. If your price ever changes, we'll be sure to give you plenty of notice."
Question.
As long as you stay
specifically, specific. Well, basically, so if you quit, don't expect it when you come back, right?
No. I get it from MoviePass where I got that months ago and I've used it once. And I go, shouldn't I cut this? But they always send a letter going like,
You'll never get this deal again.
exactly. Hey, once you step out, you can't just jump back in.
Right. You got to wait like 3 months or
right.
something.
Yeah.
So thinking about the YouTube Music offering, obviously you think of Spotify, you think of Pandora. I guess Spotify would be closer in terms of the category or the catalog.
Yeah.
But the way I mostly use Spotify is on my Sonos player. How long do you think until they offer that as a built-in backend on something like Sonos, where you'd be able to say, hey,
Play the song.
Yeah, exactly. Through YouTube Music.
Google Home already does this. You can tell Google Home, hey, play a song, and Google Home can say, I'm playing this from YouTube. So there's
from YouTube.
Directly from YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
So there is a system for that somewhere in Google.
Because Alexa does it from Spotify.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have to ask her because if you ask at first, she's like, I don't have that song.
Right.
You're like, play it on Spotify. She's like, got me again, Brushwood.
Because
Fine.
I know. I keep expecting her to say, Fine.
Well,
What was that? Nothing. Just playing it, boss.
Well, and Amazon will want you to pull from the Amazon Prime
Sure.
music library or the other name for their other music subscription that they have.
Is it- oh, there's
Amazon,
something
I think it's Music and Prime Music, something like that.
Okay.
That's the one thing that bugs me also about this YouTube thing is it's their millionth rebranding of subscription stuff for YouTube, and it's just a little too complicated for what it should be.
In
You have
general,
YouTube Music and then YouTube Music Premium, but then the next thing up is just YouTube Premium. You're keeping adding and taking away words in very specific ways.
What do you suppose that's saying? Like, if it's complicated because you have three, which of those three do you think is on the chopping block?
But YouTube's not going to get rid of the ad-supported music.
Sure, but they may not brand it. I mean, like YouTube Music is what does YouTube Music mean right now?
So YouTube Music is this service, but with ads.
Yeah,
It doesn't have
So
the-
you pay for it and you still get ads.
No. It's free.
Okay,
There's the ad-supported free, which is YouTube Music.
right. So my guess is they're just going to stop really referring to it.
Well, they have a standalone app. That's the thing. There's now a standalone YouTube Music app. Like there's a standalone YouTube
Well, then
TV
that
app.
makes sense then. So okay, think about it in two things. Basically, they're splintering off into two categories. People use YouTube for two reasons: one to listen to music, one to watch video. If you're a music listener, then you're going to get the YouTube Music app. By the way, you really ought to get the YouTube Music Premium experience.
Sure.
Likewise, if you do it for video, then you got the YouTube app. If you want to get the YouTube Premium experience.
Yeah.
But-
there's a lot of brand names going on here. It's kind of like with Amazon, where they're very
Get rid of
specific
Red.
names.
That's all I care about. They've stopped associating with the pornography website.
I wonder if they're going to keep YouTube Red as a brand name for their originals, or if they're going to start calling them YouTube Originals.
They're going to call it YouTube Rad from now on.
Okay.
Were they going back to 1985?
Yeah, the logo's on a skateboard. It's on a half pipe.
It's MTV
It's totally
style.
tubular.
YouTubular.
Hey man, if you want to be tubular, why don't you head on over to patreon.com/Cordkillers. You can keep us loud, live, and independent. Join the nearly 1,500 beautiful patrons.
So
all of
close.
our bosses. So close to 1,500. If you guys get some value, because sometimes we tell you some secrets that you don't hear anywhere else. If that's worth $1 an episode to you, we would love to have it. Don't forget, you also get your very own RSS feed, including early access to both Spoiler in Time, but the super secret patron only after talk that we do. That's right. Yeah.
Ooh,
we
yeah.
we
If
drop some-
nobody else hears this. This is not even time exclusive. It's only for patrons.
That's right. And we get some deep dish
We get
gossip in
deep.
there. That hot goss.
Yesterday we talked all about real estate.
That's
Ooh.
we did.
No, I don't know about that.
It's too heavy. Too heavy.
Check it out, patreon.com/Cordkillers. Gotta find
Meanwhile, let's move on to how to watch.
Yeah.
So DirecTV Now is rolling out a public beta of its DVR to all users, which includes 20 hours of content stored for 30 days for free. And there's paid options starting at $10 a month for 100 hours stored for 90 days. DirecTV also overhauled its interface, placing an emphasis on users' most watched content and to provide picture-in-picture channel previewing. Quick side note, when's the last time you ever used picture-in-picture for
Oh,
anything?
that's one of those features that sounds awesome, and then you get it and you use it 3 times and then never again.
Well,
I used the Netflix on the iOS picture-in-picture this morning. I use it a lot, actually.
But that's fine. That's fine. Like if you're using it to minimize one video thing so that you can like multitask and do other stuff, that makes sense. But like picture in picture, as Martin and I remember it, was something to do while an ad was playing on one channel.
Yeah.
You could just sort of skip over and check something else out. But meanwhile, users could also add a third consecutive stream to their account for $5 a month. Finally, users will be allowed to access local affiliates of network channels when traveling, assuming those affiliates are available on DirecTV. Are you familiar with DirecTV Now, Martin? Have you played around with that at all?
I only know DirecTV as the thing that the guys assault me with when I go into Sam's Club.
I mean, they physically tackle you.
They just about do. I've learned how to avoid the section where they are.
They're like, why are you subscribing yourself? Why are you subscribing yourself?
And it is one, the times that I have been cornered and you talk to them, man, they are Glenn Ross desperate.
ABC always be closing.
Yeah, it's just like, listen, if I don't make a sale today, they say they're going to fire me at the end of the week.
I'll tell you what, from what we hear, DirecTV Now is getting better and better. I know that its initial rollout had some logistical problems, but it sounds sounds like, as far as the packages, if you're somebody who's addicted to cable and you're trying to get off the C, then sorry, cable, the big cable,
C for cable,
C for cable.
Yeah.
Then it seems like a pretty good on paper solution at this point.
Yeah, it's good to see when these VOD, or not VOD apps, but these over the top apps are refreshing themselves and trying to stay more relevant.
Sure.
Right. Imagine if Netflix still looked like the Netflix it was 5 years ago, where it was all poster based and stuff. Yeah, like it's good that they're trying to keep it relevant for users.
Yeah, it's almost as though all these companies perceived that the market was ready for it before any of the tech or the background or any of that was, where it's like, well, let's just go, and then we can always keep making it better and get caught up. And so it sounds like they're doing that.
Yeah.
Well, I have always preferred the DVR technology to streaming on demand because there's always way more glitches with that. I have found.
So you like the ability to know that you just bloop, bloop, bloop through the ads, jumping forward and backwards.
Here. It's already saved. It saves me the time of because I just set it up to record this whenever it comes on.
Yeah.
And when it's time to watch it, I just go, boom, there you are.
I don't think I had paused to really consider it, but I think I have the exact same preference as you do, because watching Preacher, I would watch on PlayStation View, and it gave you the option. It says, hey, because you're logged in, you can watch it on demand from AMC, or you can watch it DVR'd on AMC. And I would always do the DVR because of the fact that I could always be like, skippable ads.
With the ads. When my wife and I are watching TV, if it's something and we're watching on demand, she's quick to try to grab the remote to fast forward through the commercials. I'm just like, sorry, you can't do that.
Yeah.
But if it's DVR, we just blow through them.
And the only bummer now with these cloud-based DVRs is that the content holders, the channels, can restrict your ability to fast forward or create DVRs in some cases.
Yeah.
It used to be on PlayStation View, AMC wouldn't let you only could watch the on-demand stuff.
Oh, really?
I think a lot of that stuff has changed for the better now, but that's still a point of failure for cloud DVR.
Yeah, I've been doing Time Warner, and it's one of those things where because I had 2 DVRs in both rooms where we have TVs, and I got rid of one of them because it's like, I don't want to pay this extra expense. And they were like, yeah, you could just find it on demand. Well, the catch was you go to on demand and some episodes wouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Or sometimes you click to watch it and it go like, oh, this episode isn't available right now, but come back later.
I'll tell you
what is that about?
So what are the things that I've suggested to people, or what I've done? I'm not here to tell anyone what to do. One thing that's worked out really well for me is I quit everything. I quit every single subscription, anything. And I said, starting now, my budget is however much I used to be spending. Let's say it's $130 between all the services.
Right.
You're like, well, I'll spend my first $12 on Netflix, and then another on Amazon Prime. Great, I still have a budget of $80. And then what I would do is every time a show comes out, I would just always buy it on Amazon. That way all the ads are already out, and if that number ever gets greater than cable is, then I'd rethink my options. But man, once you get accustomed to the idea of just like, I know I'm going to watch all of The Expanse, might as well just write that check right now, and never have to see an ad.
Okay.
A couple other how to watch news. Data from the Diffusion Group shows that 53% of HBO subscribers who don't buy HBO through a cable provider,
I like cable prescriber. Dr. Cable. Oh, they're like, you've got a fever for cable, my friend. I'm writing you a prescription for cable.
53% of subscribers who don't buy through a cable provider subscribe through Amazon channels. Amazon's a la carte cable subscription service. The same can be said for 72% of Showtime and 70% of Starz' a la carte subscribers. While this data is only gleaned from unofficial data, if it's even remotely accurate, it shines a light on why Apple would want to get into the subscription a la carte game. We talked last week about Apple selling similar services like HBO or Starz through their new TV app.
So have you experienced this on Amazon? When you're searching for some content, it'll say, oh, you want Ash versus Evil Dead? Here's how much it is to buy the whole season. Or you can sign up for free for Starz and get access to all of it. And then after 1 month, we'll start charging you for Starz.
The second one, yes.
Okay.
I haven't had them offer to sell me the whole season.
Okay. Yeah. But I'll tell you what, like, I think 3 times now have signed up for and unsubscribed from Starz because they make it so easy. Like the fact
so you get it for that week,
Yeah.
It's a trial.
and then go back and do it again.
Yeah, well-
and they let you do it again.
Well, sure. Now you have to pay for the whole month, right? So it's like at first it's like get 7 days free, and
Yeah.
so you can binge all you want during that time, and then you stick around for a month or whatever, and then I think recently it was Counterpart finally ended,
Yeah.
and so I was like, and I'm done, and then click it on it, and then the moment anything else good comes up, I'll just resubscribe, and it's only going to be what $10 a month, and it's all in that Amazon ecosystem, and it does a great job. When I was just browsing for kids stuff, we were looking through and I saw The Incredibles and it mentioned currently free right now on Stars, and I was just like, kids, who wants to watch The Incredibles? I don't think that was the right movie. I think it was a different movie, but the point is, once you get used to the idea of turning off and on those subscriptions, Amazon does make it very easy, and I do understand the reason Apple would want to follow suit.
Okay.
In fact, the only weird thing is that the Amazon Channels feature, from what I read, is only available to Amazon Prime subscribers.
Yeah.
Even though I don't see why you would pay on top of, buying an a la carte thing. Maybe this is an early feature. They'll make it public soon. But it's a weird distinction where I couldn't imagine Apple would charge $5 a month to also buy things through their TV app.
Sure.
Meanwhile, in voice remote news, TiVo's partnership with the Amazon A-word, the other A-word, is rolling out to users of the Premiere, Romeo, or Bolt DVR set-top boxes. The voice commands are limited to TiVo's own Vox remote control, but it's another option for voice assistant users. Also, YouTube TV turns on voice remote feature for some users using the Google Home or Speaker or YouTube TV app. Users can issue voice commands to control YouTube TV to change a channel, volume, or find a specific program. Distill this for me, Bryce, because
Sure.
that was a lot.
Sure. So we talked about a month ago. TiVo is partnering with Amazon and Google to have their voice assistants be accessible through the TiVo.
So not to use your Echo in your kitchen to control the TiVo, but the opposite, to tell your TiVo to obey your commands.
Right. I believe the Premiere, the Romeo, and the Bolt DVR have voice remote controls. So that's how you would plug in. Yeah, I would give a voice command.
So, Alexa, tell the TV to play Westworld.
Oh, you done did it. You did. We're going to get those letters.
Television, play Westworld.
There you go.
It's like, tell your father that I said that he's got to pick you up tomorrow.
It's relaying messages.
That Mom said that. Yeah, I heard her. All right.
And then
it's an abused child stuck in the middle. I don't know why Daddy eats so much television. Why can't you guys just get along?
So this is a similar thing for YouTube TV. I think this is a little more. This works through your Google Home speaker system, so you could tell your Google, okay, G word, give me this show, and if you're watching YouTube TV on a TV or a set-top device, somehow those things know each other and can move and make changes for you.
So do you think we're going to see more splintering, or are we going to just have people say, you know what? This is an Echo house. We only do Alexa. We don't have any Googles in here.
Well, it's tough because the Google Assistant and Siri are built into the phones.
Right.
And I think if people are used to that, they may want to use the thing that's always with them, but who knows?
Yeah, but then Amazon Alexa has the app. We got the Alexa. I got it for my wife a few years ago, and then last year, just to see, I also got her the Google Home.
Oh, to see which one she liked better.
Yeah. Alexa wins the battle.
Oh yeah, no, she is the friendliest of all the AIs. Like, and you could tell that they are writing content so fast, and it's so weird because I know Siri early on, had the first mover advantage.
Yeah.
But it really hasn't grown, or it seems
know,
very
it's weird.
stagnant. Whereas Alexa just gets more and more interesting. I talked about this on Twitter. Out of nowhere, I asked her to tell me a scary story, and she told this adorable 3-minute vignette, and it had a happy ending and everything.
I just don't like how kludgy it is to set stuff up on the Amazon, where sometimes you have to say, "Oh, play me this using your skill." I don't want to know.
No, you're right about that. And all I kept reading about was how, and you can tell her to play stuff from your Sirius Radio account. I've never gotten that to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I think what'll happen is they'll get better about setting your defaults. Like I anticipate that sometime in the next couple of years, there's going to be some upgrade, and it's going to say, "Hey, can we just do an interview with you?" Where it's like she sits down and she's like, in general, when you want music played, which service would you prefer?
Right.
You know, you're like, okay, do you like this or like that? You know,
Yeah, set preferences.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it'll all be natural languages, because I find myself asking peculiar questions like stuff that I'm thinking there's no way will work. Like, are you able to do blank? And then she's like, not yet. And like, she understands what I'm trying to ask, but she's just like, I'm not that capable yet. It's crazy.
Huh. Very cool.
Shall we move on to what to watch?
Yeah, in Under Surveillance.
Thank you.
It's all about location.
Hot googly dig dog breaking news. The Hollywood Reporter is reporting that Amazon will be reviving The Expanse just over a week after its cancellation from Sci-Fi. Amazon has not confirmed the deal, which is reportedly not closed, thereby making us adventurous, exciting, unqualified journalists.
This makes sense, though.
Yes. I did you watch The Expanse?
I did not. I usually when I see something that's on Sci-Fi Network, I go like, pass.
Wait, but you enjoyed Battlestar Galactica, right?
Not really.
It's fine. We're still friends. I can live through this. I've lived through worse.
It's funny because that was the show that I hated to mention whenever I say, "You watch that, right?" And I just got to where I'd be like, "Oh yeah," because anytime I say like, "No, I hadn't seen it yet." "Oh, what? How are you not watching this?"
You just learn like the three inside terms that toasters, skin jobs, Starbucks. We're cool, right?
Yeah.
Blue meth, right?
Yeah,
That's
Blue
on
Meth.
that show, right? That's what it is.
To the point that our good friend, our mutual friend Colin, just brought me a box set of DVDs of the first season. Go, here, you watch these.
Yeah, and you're like, sure, I'll make sure. Oh, skin jobs, toasters, Starbucks.
But I was like, okay, if it means this much to you, and I sat down and I watched it.
Yeah.
It was all right.
Yeah, it didn't really do that much for me.
Direct that hate mail to doubletoasted.com. Make sure to get behind the paywall first.
And then I thought, well, maybe it's just that first season blues. But then another friend of ours who loved...
The first season was as good as it got.
Really?
Yeah, no, I think the first season was among the best sci-fi of all time.
Oh my God!
But that's neither here nor there.
Well, from hearing from somebody who loved that show more than anybody else I knew, he hated the ending.
Sure, everybody hated
the series.
the ending.
The series finale.
But at least we're going to get an ending for The Expanse. The Expanse is really, really good. I like it a lot, and I'm not surprised that it got picked up. I am surprised that the announcement happened so fast.
Again, not announcement. This is inside sources saying the deal's close.
It's fast move.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that The Expanse is one of those that I never even subscribed to Sci-Fi. I just bought it immediately, the new season. So I've been watching it as the episodes come out.
Real quick, what's it about?
Imagine the Cold War, except instead of U.S. and Russia, it's back in the Cold War, U.S. and Russia wouldn't actually fight each other. They would fight these proxy wars in third world countries.
Okay.
Imagine it's Mars and the Earth, but they don't fight each other directly because that would be catastrophic. So instead, they fight out in the asteroid belt, and the Belters are not fans of it. They're kind of fed up with this BS.
Okay.
And they're just like, oh man, they're doing it again, and now we're stuck in the middle. And then some extraterrestrial stuff happens that makes it suddenly amps it, but it takes place in a very near future world with very believable. I don't know. There's no magic, teleportation or faster than light travel or any of that stuff. Yeah. So it all feels very, very believable.
Okay.
Meanwhile, Sony is reported to be eyeing Jake Gyllenhaal to play Mysterio and Michael Keaton to return as the Vulture in the upcoming Spider-Man Homecoming sequel. Now, I know you would have an opinion about this. How do you feel about Jake Gyllenhaal as Mysterio?
Anything that leads to them making another Spider-Man, I'm all for it. And I know that, there was the rumor that Jake Gyllenhaal was going to play Spider-Man at one point, but I've heard him in interviews say that's not really true.
Yeah.
So you think that there
was just some positioning going on, in as much as Tobey Maguire's playing hardball with money, and you look enough like him. We could
replace him.
We throw your name around there.
Yeah, we throw your name around.
Yeah,
we can get him to come around.
I mean, what's funny is I'm thinking like maybe Spider-Man 2049.
Yeah.
Amazon confirms that The Marvelous Miss Maisel will get a third season even before the second has even premiered. This isn't a complete surprise, as Miss Maisel won 2 Golden Globes in January and recently won a Peabody Award. The first season was originally greenlit after winning an Amazon Pilot season vote. We reported about that a month ago, that the yet-to-premiere Tom Clancy's Jack Ryan was picked up for a second season as well. Randomly, we finished up, I forgot what we were watching. Oh, we finished up Cobra Kai, and for some reason I just clicked on Marvelous Miss Maisel. I only got halfway through the first episode, but I loved it.
Yeah.
Really?
I loved it. It was adorable. It was beautiful. The visuals were lush. The characters were delightful. The setting was believable. It looks amazing.
And this is a period piece?
Yeah, it takes place. As a matter of fact, Lenny Bruce. Somebody shows up. They go to an underground burlesque show, and Lenny Bruce gets on stage, and I've only gotten far enough to see that it's somebody who's upper class executive who wants to be a comedian, but obviously it's not called Mr. Maisel, it's called Ms. Maisel, and so I'm excited to see how she gets to be the star of the show.
Huh. Okay.
Robert Downey Jr. has signed on to a new YouTube Red, or will it be YouTube Premium, original series about artificial intelligence. He will host and narrate the show, which will explore how AI transforms the way we work and live in the present and future. His wife, Susan Downey, will produce. You guys interested in a Robert Downey Jr. hosted AI, like non-fiction show?
If the AI is called Jarvis.
Or Friday. You could keep arguing. To be honest, what this sounds like to me is like when Neil deGrasse Tyson got announced for Cosmos. So imagine Cosmos about AI hosted by Robert Downey Jr. I'm 100% in. I'm all the way in.
I don't see any reason to not watch it.
That's put that on the poster. After 30 years.
Well, okay, look, you made the Neil deGrasse Tyson comparison because he is an actual astrophysicist, where Robert Downey Jr. plays a scientific genius in movies.
That's true. I mean, you're not
But
wrong.
he's very
outside
charming.
of that, he is a ex-con drug addict. So
Fair enough. After 30 years, Terry Gilliam finally was able to screen The Man Who Killed Don Quixote at the Cannes Film Festival Saturday night to a well-deserved. Have you heard how long the standing ovation was?
no. Longer than the movie?
Yeah. Guess how long this actual full-on standing ovation was?
15 minutes?
15 minutes? You nailed it. 15
Because I
full
figured,
minutes.
okay,
Which is wild. That's I could see, like, after minute 2 or 3, I'd be like, all right, are we still doing this?
Like, what are we, North Korea? First to sit down, get shot? What's going on here?
You have to love that herd mentality. Because not everybody was on board for doing it for 15 minutes. But a lot of fear of like, well, I can't be the first one to sit down, and I got to impress people here.
So, did you ever watch the documentary Lost in La Mancha? Is that what it was called?
Yeah, that's what it was called.
Bryce, did you see it?
I haven't. Can you give me a...
I mean, it's about what a disaster the movie is and why it never got made. And it's basically about the disaster after disaster.
Everything that went wrong with trying to make that movie.
Wow. It's my guess is it's probably not Terry Gilliam's favorite movie.
Which because I was like, all right, well, they already did that documentary, so what is this? The man.
This is the movie.
This is the movie. The movie that failed. It finally came out.
Oh.
And got a 15-minute standing ovation for Glorious Leader.
Oh, okay.
I'm with you. Like everything about that. Like maybe they're applauding for the career of Terry Gilliam.
Yeah.
Maybe they were applauding that despite all the odds, the movie came out. Or, and this is the part I hold out a little hope for, what if it's just that good? Okay, all right. That was overstepping.
We just recently saw Infinity War. How could it be that good?
Wait, Thanos shows up. He's like, Don Quixote dies, and he's just like, I need you.
I like to imagine that this goes into wide release and people are doing 15 minutes after every general screening. Like, okay. All the cleaners are just like, all right, hold on, we're minute 10.
They have to build that into the running time.
All right, we have a Netflix acquisition shopping list corner. We're going to go through these real quick. I want thumbs up, thumbs down. How you guys feel about these? Okay.
All right.
Barack and Michelle Obama have entered a multi-year agreement with Netflix to produce series, documentaries, and featured films. Reports say the first item to appear from this deal would arrive around May 2019. Martin.
Man, what's funny is I want to make some snide joke about like how much experience do they have, but to be honest, like I'm just utterly thrilled. like there's
yeah.
nothing but awesomeness that's going to come from this.
Yeah, I'd love to see what they put together.
Yeah, Brock's interview on the David Letterman thing. My next guest needs no introduction. It was good. It's a good
great.
talk.
It was great.
It's a good conversation.
Have you watched that at all?
I have not.
Oh no, they're all good. I started the one featuring Malala Yousaf. Is that her last name? Yeah. They're all great, and it's so great to see him not even trying to be the guy that you remember from Late Night with David Letterman. They're delightful.
Yeah. Okay, so thumbs up. Netflix has acquired a new political comedy starring Jennifer Aniston and Tig Notaro called First Ladies. Tig Notaro and her wife Stephanie Allen wrote it. Yes or no?
In. Thumbs up.
Yeah, thumbs up.
Okay. Netflix also ordered a horror anthology from Guillermo del Toro called 10 After Midnight. It's a horror anthology. Del Toro will curate, write, and direct alongside a team of writers and filmmakers. No release date has been set. Thumbs up, thumbs down?
He overcommits, but the team he has gathered will get this done. Thumbs up.
Yeah, my only hesitation is I'm a little bit saturated on, Friday the 13th, the series, Black Mirror, Twilight Zone type of
just anthology
horror.
shows?
Like I still didn't. I never finised the
Electric Dreams.
Yeah, correct. That one.
Which one?
I never finished my sentence.
PKD's Electric Dreams on Amazon.
Oh, okay. I didn't even know about that one. I never finished the one with the Duplass brothers are making on HBO.
Oh, the one about like the hotel room,
Yeah.
and I don't think I've even started that.
I've only got to see the first one and none of the ones after that. Just 'cause
So
I didn't
to
do
answer
it.
your question, I'm giving it a provisional thumbs up.
Optimistic thumbs up.
Yeah.
But a strong awareness that we're deeply saturated in horror anthologies right now.
You think so?
I think so. I mean, I can't even get to them all. It's
Well, I mean but you can't see every comedy. But it's not like there's too many comedies out there.
Yeah, okay. But on the flip side, like there is a point where there's too much darkness.
Globally,
he's so many ways to be miserable.
But hey, man, props to you for the shout out for Friday the 13th, the TV
series.
I love that show.
And, Tales from the Dark Side.
Yeah.
That's what it's feeling like these days.
Despite their feud, Netflix also acquired 2 new films at the Cannes Film Festival. We talked about like 2 or 3 last week. Happy as Lazaro won Best Screenplay for a story about a naive man roped into faking a kidnapping. They also picked up Girl, the story of a young transgender teen ballerina. The purchase includes North and South American distribution rights, but no release date has been announced. Cannes is a pretty good... Both of these won awards at Cannes, so that seems like a good stamp of approval.
Sure. So I mean, it feels like, I mean, if it's an award winner, it's good art, then you got to give it a thumbs up. But I'm only doing it because it won awards. Like I'm not gonna pretend.
There's plenty of things that have won awards at Cannes that when I see them, I'm like, ugh.
Oh really?
Oh, yeah.
So that brand doesn't hold a lot of sway for you.
It does not. It used to, because I used to think, oh well.
Yeah.
But I've seen enough now where I'm like, show me what you got.
Sure.
But the transgender ballerina, that sounds definitely interesting.
Yeah, that's that. Yeah, I want to see. I kind of want to see both of these. I don't know what happens to a naive man who fakes a kidnapping, but I'd like to see someone try.
That sounds like an Adam Sandler movie to me.
I would like to see some. I would like to see someone other than Adam Sandler make an Adam Sandler movie though.
What? Oh, somebody besides Adam Sandler?
Oh,
an Adam Sandler type movie.
Yeah.
2 more. Netflix and ESPN are working together on a Michael Jordan documentary series called The Last Dance. It will cover Jordan's ascent to the throne in the 90s and his time with the Chicago Bulls during their final championship in the 1997-1998 season.
So Netflix and ESPN, which tells me, I'm going to guess that it's not a 30 for 30 or...
No, it's not, because 30 for 30 moved to ESPN Plus.
Right. So
bastards.
I know, right? It's like 30 for 30 is such a powerful brand. Like every single thing they do is great. That the mere fact that this isn't a 30 for 30 makes me sad. But then again, Netflix pays premium dollars for this type of content, so maybe they'll get the same quality.
Yeah.
I just wonder, is it gonna be just a documentary that's sucking his dick? Or is it going to really go into who he is, which is not the stellar hero they love?
Well, and of course, if he's cooperating, then that will shape what direction stuff goes.
Yeah.
But
if
of course,
it's framed around a very specific time period, which is his peak,
yeah.
You know, I think it's possible. We'll say middle thumbs.
Middle provisional thumbs.
Okay, provisional. That's good. And finally, Netflix picked up the rights to a Wall Street expose from Michael Lewis, author of The Big Short, called Flash Boys, about, get this, high frequency trading loopholes.
Okay, this is this is like, I don't care if you're gonna do 7 backflips, you just have to not belly flop and then you win. If they could somehow make this remotely interesting, Flash Boys, and it's about high frequency trading, like the difficulty multiplier, you just got to get in the water without killing yourself.
Yeah. Did you guys see The Big Short? I still haven't seen it. Did you like The Big Short?
It's a weird movie because it's entertaining, and they stop throughout the movie to break down what they're talking about, and still by the time it was done, I was like, yeah, I'm completely confused.
Oh, really? Oh, that's a bummer.
Yeah,
like that. The Wall Street. Anytime there's a Wall Street thing, I could get over in my head with that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's weird because going into it, I was like, oh yeah, I know all about this, and the more they kept going, the more I was like, all right, you guys have spun this in a way where I'm not sure. I don't know what's going on. And by the end, and seriously, there are several times.
By the end, you're like, not only do I not know what's going on, I no longer care.
It's that too.
Wow.
The movie breaks the fourth wall to explain itself at times.
Yeah.
And then by the end, I was like, yeah, I don't know. I don't care. We all got screwed. You're not fixing anything. You're not even laying out how to make it not happen again. So,
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting. Whereas a more emotional appeal, it seems like, would have landed better with you.
yeah, some of these movies work really well. Like you see The Wolf of Wall Street. It's immensely entertaining.
Right.
And you kind of learn. You really get it. Like, oh yeah, that's how we got f***ed on that deal.
Yeah.
And another one is 99 Homes. I don't know if you guys heard of that.
I haven't even heard of that one.
Oh, it's Michael Shannon and Andrew Garfield, and Michael Shannon is a corrupt real estate developer.
Yeah.
But it's during the housing crisis where he's taking Andrew
He's just moving
Garfield,
stuff left and right.
Oh,
right?
He's taking Andrew Garfield under his wing, like kind of like the Dark Emperor.
Oh, he's training him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
Dude, that's great. Hey, what are you watching, Bryce?
So here's what I did with Cobra Kai. I was coming up to spoiler time today. We're going to talk about Cobra Kai a little bit. I didn't have time to watch all 8 episodes that I was caught up on because Brian finished it.
I watched all of them.
So I watched episode 3.
Yeah.
Then I watched episode 10.
Yeah.
Then I watched episode 9. And then I watched like half of episode 8 and a little bit of episode 4 just to like catch little things like, who's this Mohawk guy? And then
and then you realize it's like,
that kid.
Yeah.
I never, and to the point that character exists, I did not notice that he was that same character.
It's a great lesson in the middle of that. That's good.
So Cobra Kai is very good. We'll talk about that. Deadpool 2, we'll talk about that later. I liked Deadpool 2. I'm almost done rewatching *Halt and Catch Fire* for some reason. I'm on the 4th season, the final season now, and I'm like, didn't I just finish watching this? And I did. So Westworld, and guys, all aboard the Legion train. I'm back on it.
Really?
Oh, had you fallen off?
I fell off. We stopped following it on spoiler in time, and so it did give me a reason to keep watching it.
I'm still trapped in the past. I got through episode 203, or third episode, 2nd season, where it's just there's so much rebooting, so much restarting, so much forget about that. None of that counts. Now this is the new thing to care about. That it really left me wishy-washy. But hearing that it's sticking the landing.
Yeah. So I watched 4 and 5 in anticipation for today. We won't get to it, but I feel like I'm back on. But I think I also have a lower tolerance for that show than you do. But I think you'd like episode 4 certainly.
So I did watch all of Cobra Kai, 8 more episodes, and also started checking out Evil Genius on Netflix. Did you guys see this?
Oh yeah, I almost started it the other day.
Yeah, it's so surreal. Like I'm going to have to watch it again because I'm pretty sure that they've said human sentences that make sense in English, but then it's like it's over, and then I wake up the next morning and I'm like, wait, did I dream part of that? Because there's no way this is a documentary where this all actually happened.
Yeah.
So I'm making my way through those.
Is that a documentary film or a documentary series?
I don't know. Miniseries.
It's only 5 episodes.
Okay, miniseries. Okay.
Yeah.
Like a Wild Wild Country. I wasn't sure if it was a movie, like a feature length thing, or a miniseries. Okay,
yeah,
cool.
And here's the weird part. I did not get the chance. When you guys hear about my day tomorrow, you'll understand why I didn't get the chance to watch last night's Westworld. But I did rewatch the previous week's Westworld, and for some reason, having the clarity of knowing everything that was happening and why suddenly made me realize, like, I'm sure last night's was good, maybe the best so far, but I think the 3rd episode of season 2 was the best. The best
high
I've seen.
I would say the episode from not the one from last night. I haven't seen that one yet.
Yeah,
but the one from the week before.
Yeah,
where
that's the same one we're talking about. Yeah,
same one. I had watched the show all the first season, and kind of I was liking it, but then I think I was liking it just because everybody else was. And by the time I got to the end, I was like,
this has been a big waste of time.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
Yeah, like why didn't it just open with this or start halfway through the season?
And that's what that was my complaint. Where I guess I was like, my comment the next day was like, well, I'm glad they finally showed the pilot.
Yes, exactly.
At the
And then
the
with,
creator. Oh no, go ahead.
well, with this season, just right before this episode, our friend Johnny Neal had posted. He's like, "Man, a show about robot cowboys starting a rebellion should have taken itself seriously." And I was like, "Yeah, I know, right?" But then that episode came on, and it made me eat all my negative words. I'm like, okay, now suddenly all of it has come together.
Yeah,
and it makes perfect sense, and I'm fully on board.
So when we get Tom back next week, we'll be all the way caught. We'll be catching all the way up on Legion and on Westworld. I think.
No, probably The Expanse.
Oh, and The Expanse. Boy, a lot of bad stuff.
Not Legion, because we weren't keeping up with Legion.
Okay, and also I did watch Deadpool 2. Will be spoiler in that and spoiler in time. Spoiler, I liked it, but not as much as
what have you been watching?
Deadpool 1.
Oh, so my main shows that I've been super excited about. I heard you guys talked about Counterpart already.
Oh yeah.
And Legion and Westworld. But the main two shows that I've been super excited about have been Barry and Atlanta.
Oh,
and Atlanta.
I hear Atlanta season 2 is super different from season 1, so much better.
Yeah, because season 1 I bailed on because I was just
Really?
like, I did. I was like,
Did you bail before the very best scene of the entire first season?
What was that?
It is in a chaotic moment outside of a dance club.
Maybe so.
Somebody drives a peculiar car.
Yeah, I didn't. See
Oh. That's okay. All right.
I
Go ahead.
I didn't
Go
see
ahead.
that. Yeah. I was just.
But then you jumped into season 2.
Yeah,
That's interesting that you could do that.
Well, the reason I kept hearing about how surreal season 2 was, compared to the first season. I was like, oh, that's interesting. So with Double Toasted, one day Corey says there's this episode Teddy Perkins. I don't know if you guys have seen all of it, and it's like episode 7 or 8. But he's saying everybody's talking about this episode. We're going to talk about it on the next show. And I was like, well, I haven't watched. And he's like, you don't need to. Just watch this one.
Okay.
And I did. And I was blown away by it.
Wow.
And then I had heard about how the episode before it was pretty good. So I watched that one.
So you watch everything in reverse?
Yeah. I started going backwards. And then eventually started from the beginning, season 2, start watching forward. And I was like, oh, yeah, man, this show has evolved into something that I just love. And it really is a show where you don't know what it's going to do from scene to scene.
Oh, that's great.
But it's just brilliant.
That's good. And Barry, I watched the first episode of Barry. It felt like a lot of place setting. I'm told it gets really, really great.
That is a show where you'll see a preview and go like, okay, it's kind of a comedy, a wacky comedy about a hitman who joins the acting class, and it's got the Fonz in it, Henry Winkler.
Right. And
it's kind of fun, and he's funny Chechens. And halfway through, you start to see, oh, this whole hitman crime darkness thing, this is not just something in the background. It comes in and just takes over in a way that rips your heart out in the last 3 episodes. I mean, you spend the last 3 episodes, they end, and you're sitting there going, oh, shit.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, I can't recommend that enough. Plus, it's 8 half-hour episodes.
That's
a
easy.
show.
That's very quick.
Yeah, it's super easy. It is that show where when it's over, you're like, no, come on, give me more.
Yeah.
Very cool. That's HBO, right?
Yeah.
Very cool. I got something on the lookout for you guys.
Okay.
If you like. Hey, if you're a parent with kids, I think you might like these shows. First, I got to the Who Was show. Do you guys know Who Was? I've been told this is a series of books.
I mean, it looks like a series of books from the cartoon animated pictures that are showing up on this preview, but I'm unfamiliar with it.
So,
but it's got Andy Daly, so that's enough to get me to watch.
Yeah, right. Andy Daly's very good. He's good as like a dumb CEO in this. Each episode pairs 2 different historical figures from time together and puts them in wacky situations together, and also tells about their individual accomplishments throughout.
This looks a little bit like Dan Harmon's Great Minds from the History Channel.
A little bit. Yeah, you know what? A little bit, actually. And there are sketches. There's a lot of music, little cartoons. I think if you're a parent and you watch stuff with your kids, this is a really good educational show. The other show is another new Netflix show, A Little Help with Carol Burnett.
What?
It is it's kind of a mashup of like Kids Say the Darndest Things with like a panel show almost.
Okay.
So every episode has 5, like a rotating cast of 5 kids who these adults will come and share their problems, and sometimes it's like celebrity guests. Oh, here's the woman from Fuller House, or here's Lisa Kudrow, and they'll say, hey, what do I do when I book two things at the same time? And the kids give you their
just like
kid answers,
do
right?
the one that has more candy. That's what you do. Yeah.
What if you didn't have any friends? Like kid stuff, which I don't think is for everybody. It was not my cup of tea, but I can imagine people who
But that's
really
adorable
like seeing kids
because
on
what a great vehicle for Carol Burnett as well.
Sure.
With that easygoing personality,
Oh,
somebody who can just get along.
I also think the first episode or two it might be a little rough. In terms of like getting into it, you're dealing with 5 kids. You kind of have to figure out what chemistry works best between all of them because they change it up all the time.
Yeah.
But this could be something for a lot of people, I think. And I had seen nothing about this until I saw. I guess there was some random article or something. So that's the Who Was show and A Little Help with Carol Burnett. Both of those are on Netflix.
If you got something we should be on the lookout for, email us at cordkillers@gmail.com. Put on the lookout right there in the subject, and Bryce will add it to the list. Yeah. Meanwhile, very, very quick, brief mention. Of course, we support ourselves with other projects. Right now, the number one project in my mind is, you know what? Can I tip what we're doing this weekend?
Sure.
Okay, so Jason Murphy and I are looking to work under the same roof for the first time in our entire lives. All of us. Wait,
what?
There's property, buying property. We're gonna build the Modern Rogue World headquarters.
Really?
Yeah, we got a place. In fact, I can't wait to show it to you.
Okay.
We're being coy on all the details, but turns out closing costs. That's a thing. They want money, so we're trying to figure out like, okay, what's a way everybody could feel really, really good, like they came out the winner because we're trying to raise money. And so we realized like, oh man, if only we could do like Black Friday sale again. And it's like, well, why don't we? So we're doing Black Friday. I'm announcing this way in advance. This
way too early.
I know. We haven't even. The announcement will be this Friday, but everybody who's listening is cool. So you guys know this Friday we're going to do a Black Friday sale.
Okay.
And we have all the old templates, all the old prices,
graphics.
all the old graphics. We're just going to press a button and we're going to teleport back to Black Friday where everything will be on sale, upwards of 50 or 60% off. It'll be a great opportunity for everybody to make mad bargains at scamstuff.com. That's
If you want to learn
the Modern Rogue.
Lock picking, cardistry.
You get premium decks of cards. We got the
knives,
the puzzle boxes, and all that stuff. I mean, trust me, you'll be hearing more about this. But I just wanted to give you guys the inside sauce that we're bringing back Black Friday on another Friday.
That's scamstuff.com starting this Friday.
Yeah,
right on.
So check it out. Meanwhile, let's go to the front lines.
Front lines.
Netflix won a BAFTA for The Crown. Best Supporting Actress went to Vanessa Kirby out of 6 nominations. Hulu won Best International Series with The Handmaid's Tale. Did you watch The Handmaid's Tale?
Oh man, I couldn't wait to watch that show.
And
I watched the first episode. It was so depressing. I couldn't watch anymore.
If it makes you feel better, it doesn't get less depressing.
I know. So I've heard.
It gets harder before it gets easier. Yeah. Data from Parrot Analytics claims Cobra Kai outperformed other original programming, including the 13 Reasons Why Season 2 premiere and Arrested Development from May 6th through May 12th. Seems like a hit, but it's very unofficial. This is always unofficial data. It's always companies that are, well, we did a survey of so many people,
Sure.
or we checked social media. But again, YouTube's it's YouTube's new hit.
And plus, it kind of doesn't matter. This is one of the things that Netflix has figured out: is it doesn't matter their actual numbers. What matters is the buzz. Does it get people into the tent?
Sure.
And in that regard, I mean, certainly the buzz around Cobra Kai has been extraordinary. It's the biggest YouTube Red buzz I've seen on anything.
Yeah. Also, kind of maybe a week.
That sounds like damning it with faint praise.
Also, kind of just a week lately. Like 13 Reasons Why. It's the second season, and it's a little dicey today. Arrested Development.
Of a show that should have only been one season.
Yes, really. Arrested Development. That was just the season 4 remix that came out, so that's not going to be any big buzz. And so I can. This makes sense, but I don't think it's necessarily a home run just yet.
YouTube TV adds the Young Turks and Tastemade channels, which will produce 14 new series between the two of them for their coming 24/7 channels. So YouTube, we talked about brand confusion, right? Where you got YouTube Music, YouTube Music Premium. Then you got YouTube Premium. Separate from all of these, you have YouTube TV,
which has ads,
which is just
stream.
straight up cable,
It's just cable.
over the top television.
But you can watch originals on YouTube TV if you have the YouTube TV subscription.
So YouTube TV is sort of the one. Is that the umbrella that encapsulates all of them? You think?
No.
Wait, if I get YouTube TV, can I watch Cobra Kai?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, try that.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
Hey, right on. All right, we solved it.
YouTube TV is like $40 a month or something.
oh, wait, what?
It's a cable replacement.
It's cable. It's like PS View. Wow, man, that's like you're eating something and you go, that's a mango, and you're like, I hate mangoes.
I'm allergic. Like you do. And finally, Netflix will split the 5th season of Arrested Development with 8 episodes releasing on the announced May 29th date. Netflix is doing a similar split with the Unbreakable Kimmy Schmidt season finale, which is coming out the next day. It is most likely that these splits were made to qualify for the Emmys.
Even if this wasn't an Emmy play, it does make sense because that's a way to double the amount of, oh, hooray, new thing is out on Netflix, which
That's
is,
true.
they're really fostering that environment, that feeling.
But it seems weird to do it with established shows or a show like Kimmy Schmidt, which is going to end.
Yeah.
Not
everybody knows that.
It's true. That's true. Because the last time they did this was with The Get Down, because they weren't done with the second half.
Because it was
season
so graphically intensive.
Yeah, and very expensive to make and stuff like that. I don't know. It seems weird. It seems weird that they would announce a date that they couldn't be ready by. It seems weird. It seems weird to I don't know.
I mean, it makes sense to me. They're like teams say different things, and then even as they pick a date, they think, well, worst case scenario, we can break it, and we could at least deliver some amount of it by this time.
So it's very it's kind of squirrely how they word all this stuff. Because when the trailer comes out, at the end of the trailer, it'll usually say Netflix, all episodes streaming, whatever. That's not what it says on the Arrested Development one, which is how far did they know? Why are we just finding this out now?
This all, because that's a really good point. Other entities have the luxury of being able to release stuff. You could start with episode 1 of a season with episode 12 not even shot yet and get it done in time, right?
Yeah.
Whereas their brand is we release everything at once for binging, but of course the challenge of that is that you not necessarily you can have all 26 episodes ready to go or whatever. So instead you break it into 2 chunks or 3 chunks of 8 or whatever. So I don't know. This seems like a good compromise.
I do get it, making getting it out easier or quicker to people. But then it's getting close to the point I was like, well, maybe you're just doing weekly shows.
You can get it. That doesn't mean you have to like it.
Right.
And that's fine. That's fine.
Like
Let's take some dispatches from the front. Mel writes in, message. Cordkillers, I did it. I finally did it. I cut the cord, turned in my cable box, cable free for the first time in 30 years.
Whoa.
Not only that, Comcast gave me a year deal on its Blast internet package for $60 a month, and it will be cheaper when I get my own router. Not saying I'll never go back to cable, which by the way, you shouldn't. You should watch it whatever way you want. But I'm planning on buying a season pass of Amazon series I want to keep up with. Other than that, Netflix, and Prime is good enough for me. So excited. Thank you. Congratulations, Mel. That's fantastic.
That's fantastic. And finally, Mark Bunker writes, Dear Penthouse Forum, Cordkillers.
That's a 21st century reference.
I never thought this would happen to me, but AMC made me so mad I couldn't watch the movie I paid for and walked out of... AMC made me so mad I couldn't watch the movie I paid for and walked out after the first scene.
Oh, he's talking about AMC Theaters, not American Movie Classics,
right.
Which they don't even call that anymore.
I've been a longtime MoviePass member, although I quit after they raised the price to $99 during their original phase and then jumped back in at the $10 price. On Monday, I went to a theater knowing I had $10 in rewards on my AMC Premier Club card and had decided to use that since I hadn't had the chance to eat anything that day. I bought my ticket with my MoviePass, went to the concession stand, and was told the $10 was used to pay for my ticket. I've always been given the option to use it at the ticket counter or concessions, but the manager somewhat gleefully explained that the policy had been changed and it takes out whatever purchase is now made first. It felt like this may have been instituted as punishment towards MoviePass users who get their tickets, quote, for free, but it makes no sense because their theater gets the full price for every film I see there, and I'm a loyal audience member who chooses them as my main theater. I sat in the auditorium as the movie started, grumbling to myself, and decided to just leave and cool off after grabbing lunch. Do you think the MoviePass conspiracy theory I concocted may be true? I am 99.99% sure that it is true because these changes went into effect a few months ago.
Yeah. Also, I'm also 99% sure that you were not using it in the spirit with which it was intended. It's not. It's not,
getting a refund is maybe
it's like using your Home Depot gift card to buy pornography. It's like that's not what your parents intended.
No. He's saying I think it's weird that you got a refund on a MoviePass movie, but okay. But if AMC just says you have to use it on your first thing, and you're trying to get points.
Yeah, AMC is saying you got to spend it on a movie. You don't spend it on Milk Duds.
Right, because to AMC, both of those transactions are the same money from everybody.
Sure.
And when you have to say, well, this part of my money is from somewhere else, then that's not AMC's problem.
Yeah, and now we get into the weird part, like the mere existence of MoviePass, this speculative idea of like we're just going to give money to people to wedge our way in as a middleman between them and the movie-going experience. Because it's weird. It's like it used to be, I want a movie. I have $10. Thank you for the movie. And then all of a sudden, kicking in the door like the Kool-Aid Man is MoviePass, like, not anymore. Now you go through me. Give me $10. I'll give him 20. Or will I? I don't know. I'm MoviePass.
And AMC is doubly upset because people have abused MoviePass to rack up tons of AMC points. And AMC was eyeing doing a similar MoviePass style idea before MoviePass hit the public.
I'll just say this as a word of warning. Anybody who gets into MoviePass, don't fall so in love with it that you expect them to owe you anything, because they don't owe you. You are the product. You are the product. You are the product. You are the product. And the product doesn't get to complain about the product's experience.
I have to laugh at anybody who was knowingly trying to pull something shady and then gets upset when it doesn't work out. Like it wasn't built into your head like, well, I'm going to try this, but who knows? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. You're just like, no, it's going to work.
And I'm going to say, if you have the option, I go to a Regal theater, and Regal doesn't care about MoviePass.
Oh yeah.
So you can get your points when they put your points on your receipt. So even if you don't use your card, you can still get the points. But Regal is a pretty good option, and I am like a diamond level Regal member now.
So you're just saying you're hunting in the wrong grounds.
Yeah, basically.
You got to go to more fertile territory.
And you were hungry, so you're gonna spend what, $14 on popcorn and
hey man,
soda?
it's free.
You could have
free
had
money.
an actual meal from someplace for a fraction of that price.
Yeah, it's free money. It's free money.
Yeah, free money.
Hey, Martin Thomas, where can we see so much more of your beautiful, beautiful face?
Oh, that's super easy. All you got to do is go to www.doubletoasted.com. That way, you can watch us. If you subscribe for $6.99 a month, you can get our streaming videos that you can watch anytime, any way you want. And we do live shows 4 to 5 days a week.
Wow.
Or you can just get the audio for free.
What?
Right, that's right. Either on our website or from SoundCloud. And hey, maybe you just want to try out the videos. You can get a week for free. Or go to YouTube and catch very shortened clips of these same videos for free.
By the way, kick in the door. It's me, Double Toasted Pass. If you give me $5, I'll get you into Double Toasted. Thank you so much for joining us, guys.
Sure.
Don't forget, we do new episodes every Monday at 6 o'clock Central Time over at twitch.tv/Night Attack or at diamondclub.tv. We love you guys. We will kill your cords next week. Hey guys, Brian and Tom here, and it's just the same old message at the end of the credits, just like always.
That's right, Brian. Nothing new here except your name showing up.
Oh my gosh,
because
I've got a
you
name.
just supported us on Patreon.
Yeah, all those $5 donors, look at that. That's your name in pixels. We're gonna make you famous, kid. Put your
There's
name in
some
pixels on
classic
the internet.
names in there, but some of you are new. Some of you aren't there. It's sad. What can they do, Brian?
I mean, they could go to patreon.com/Cordkillers and pledge $5 an episode and be one of these amazing people, like this one.
Amazing.
Oh, look at that name right there.
Diamond Club hopes you have enjoyed this program.